Ladies and gentlemen, time now for this morning's first panel discussion. Please welcome to the stage the panel members. Phil Kirk, CEO, Chrysaor. Rich Frommer, President and CEO, Great Western Oil and Gas Company. Neil Gilmore, Vice President, CP Integrated Gas Projects and New Energies, Shell. Richard Dyson, CEO, IO Oil and Gas Consulting. And your moderator for the session, Paul DeLue, Director of the Oil and Gas Institute, Robert Gordon University.
Looking at the delegates, we truly have the United Nations of the oil and gas industry here in the room today, which is absolutely fantastic. Obviously, things are going very well. What are you doing differently? What have you learned from how you work with partners in the supply chain?
Clear about our objectives, whether that's safety or environmental or production or maintenance backlog targets. I've been pleasantly surprised at how few arguments we've had internally, and we do concentrate on dealing with people in a nice way that we'd prefer to be dealt with ourselves or dealt with ourselves. I think that also relates to when we're talking to the supply chain. We have a great relationship with Baker Hughes GE and a number of other companies that's been based on talking at a very early stage about what we'd like to try and achieve, what's important to us in terms of the way that we'd like to achieve it, because it's not just about where you're going, it's how you get there in the journey. And that enables people to contribute much earlier than the traditional bid and tender and we know best operator approach.
What have you seen in terms of how you work with the supply chain? What works, what doesn't work?
Here in Colorado, we're challenged by the fact that we have to continually work for our social license to operate in an area that involves some of the strictest regulations in any state in the U.S. In the area that we work, we've doubled production over the past 5 years. We've actually reduced our emissions by over 50%. And we are in an old oil field that's being regenerated with horizontal drilling. So we are in full factory mode. And so it's really critical that we have the supplies and the chemicals and the support personnel needed as we need it, because that's what drives our efficiency. And so how we've challenged ourselves is to just instill with our people a mentality of constant improvement. And we force that down to our vendors as well.
How do you work differently with your supply chain? What have you seen over the last couple of years as you bed the new strategy down?
We're involved in a transformation at the moment in Shell, and it stands on 3 pillars. The world-class investment case, where we preferentially attract capital. The societal license to operate, where indeed we're under more and more scrutiny, and we have governments with different demands, as we heard yesterday morning. And also thriving through the energy transition, where we really are shifting the company to adapt to climate change and a new reality. At the core of all of these, we've got suppliers. I mean, they do the vast majority of our work, and we really want to reset the way that we work with them, and that means, I would say, working with fewer suppliers, with enlightened suppliers who've got the same safety values as us, who have got a continuous improvement mindset, what we call A to B to C, kind of operating like that with deeper, longer-term relationships, where we keep each other commercially on our toes, is the right way to go.
Having seen different business models, what are you seeing in the changes of the business models, how collaboration works, but mainly from a kind of key supplier contractor perspective?
There is a desire, both from independents but also from super majors as well, to try to do things differently and to engage with a strategic partner much earlier in the life cycle of a project. What we definitely see is a desire from independents like Chrysaor to engage with an entity that can actually work as a development partner and deliver the project from start to finish, essentially, and build these long-term relationships, actually, and hopefully then move on to project after project. The entities that become involved are incentivized or rewarded in a way that is based on the outcomes rather than just a merely transactional relationship.
Over the next 5 or 6 years, how do you see this collaboration model evolving?
I just see us getting better and better, and getting ourselves more efficient. But you know, it really starts with the C-suite, the CEOs. We have to set the strategy. And what are we trying to solve for? You know, we're striving for safety, we're striving for higher efficiency, and we're striving for a smaller footprint. And all those things are driven first from the C-suite, then we have to put the organizational structure in place so that we can actually implement these changes.
Collaboration seems to work quite well in the down cycle because the reason we need to collaborate. And of course, the question is that sustainable?
Traditionally, it isn't sustainable. The operator-supplier relationship is superimposed in the opposite way to the commodity cycle. But there is, I see more in this year, in last year, more effort being put in to try and break that. That is difficult. And it will only achieve it by people talking to each other, and particularly the fact that it goes to the top. It goes to how the leadership reacts in good times and bad, and demonstrating that relationships, same with your partner, it's for a long term.
What is the kind of one or two big opportunities in 2019, Phil?
Stopping prices increasing, having a long-term sustainable relationship, and maybe looking at baking in 3 years of work.
Efficiency and continued collaboration.
Okay, Neil?
Amazing people and amazing teams.
Recognizing that the supply chain needs some margin to return, essentially, I think would help and improve the health of the relationships.
Thank you.